Yo. Oh, I didn't know my mic wasn't on. Been talking this whole last time. What do I even say? Knows. I said the CEO of YouTube died this year, and I don't remember hearing anybody talking about it. What the hell happened? She resigned last year? Never heard dick about any of this. She resigned and then she died. Non-small cell lung cancer. Jesus. Know the feeling. Yeah, it's silly, but it's because I restarted OBS. Yeah, people were even saying, whatever. I wasn't saying anything important. I was probably just talking about, probably just like, dog, cute. Let's see, what was I saying? Like, something about a fox in space being just like endless work. And, oh yeah, I was saying like, it's all patron supported. Um, I wish that I could get, yeah, I was saying like if I could get patrons to support my Goofy cartoon, because I would love to turn that into a series. It's just too difficult to make for like I can't afford to make it if there's no revenue coming in at all, because YouTube demonetized that video for having sexual situations involving Goofy, even though they started it. They know what they did. They totally started it. The whole Goofy thing. Oh yeah, I was talking about how like how the fuck am I gonna fund that? Do I have to draw Goofy hentai? And then I was talking about how like uh there's probably nothing easy about that. It sounds like an easy option, but there's so much hentai that it's just like not like endless competition. So that probably wouldn't even be easy at all. Almost there. Just a couple of eyes and muzzles to get in there. God. I'll be right back. What was the point of making Papa's Gatito? I needed Mundus. So I made a cartoon about it. I made a cartoon about a little chihuahua who wants money, but he also is just like bad at spending it and bad at holding on to it. And it feels like no matter how much he gets, it's never enough. And he's even portrayed as being sort of wealthy, but also like he has just as many problems because he has money. I don't have those problems. My problem is similar though. It feels like I live in a rich neighborhood in a rich country, but I'm not rich. And I handle thousands of dollars, but I don't get to spend any of it. No more Papa's Gatito. I'm not doing this again. Do you not like Papa's Gatito, or do you just mean that you don't like the spam? I love the Cat Mom and the DBZ one. Those were pretty good. They were highlights. A lot of comedy comics have an extra not safe for work panel you can only see on their Patreon. Interesting business move. Yeah, maybe. What do you get if you're a Pete the Power patron? You get Pete. You get my secret drawings of Pete in a Speedo. Yeah, I don't even have to make anything. I already have stuff I can share. You can see the model sheet I made for Pete's dick. That's pretty good. That's almost done. Need to add a couple eyes. Then this part's just moving the perspective lines. It's all pretty easy, actually. What's difficult is just getting used to the software. Okay, so these white circles are actually not on the highlight layer. They're right here. Is there a highlight? There's no keyframes for that. What about... They're on the line layer? All of this is on the line layer. Oh. Okay. All. Believe I used 2 separate layers. Well, yeah, I see. A 4 eyes. I think making not set for work panels on your Patreon is kind of a desperate move. Well, I thought that I was a bit desperate too. I don't know. I don't blame people for acting out of desperation when they don't really know what option. I mean, like, it does sound a bit desperate, I must say, but like, even in my desperation, I had to do something that was true to myself. And doing a not safe for work panel is not me. That's not. Okay, that's not the highlight. That's just the eyes color. I think. You might add a highlight. I, okay. It was really only 2 frames. Oh god. Bouncing around a bit. That shit is so easy to fix in Grease Pencil. It's so much worse. It's like you have to select the area around it, and then you have to move it, and then you have to like repair that area, and then you have to like do your best to like, you know, like it's like here really all the only options I would have had in Flash are like scale, uniform, scale, and envelope, which I suppose I can do too here as well. Yeah, I can do like that. But here you can just like nudge part of something over so easily. Just like fix those arcs much better. Yeah, like I don't have the squiggle modifier that Fred uses, but I still want to like get these lines a little better. Just like in the right place. Then he's gonna add like a vibrate to that, so like it's a little less noticeable. When lines are like the same. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, you're gonna see it from like all the way over here. So, probably not gonna be too noticeable if there's any problems. Body's already done. That's the model. Finished? Modern art sucks. I mean, you know, I feel like a blend of tradition and innovation are probably needed. feel like you shouldn't just move on from an art like an art movement just because there's it's not like the most popular thing right now. You know, like I feel like heavy metal just kept going while other forms of rock just like turned into TV commercials. Heavy metal just like kept going like and like people still love that. I hope that looks okay. There's definitely there's going to be a little bit of warping compared to Fred because he's a little bit better. He's more experienced doing grease pencils and, you know, just animating. You know, they're not exactly humans, but you know what I mean when I say humans. Also, just like animating this like type of perspective, like, oh man, that eye, this eye is big. Like, as it moves, it gets very little bit smaller and has like an arc that you can kind of tell is, you know, it's like that. But then it gets to this frame, so I want to move all of this flash just like a teeny bit down. Oh fuck. That is on a different layer. The glasses layer. On the fill layer? Not on the fill layer. There it is. It's on the eyes layer. Oh, I see. Right. Because these last two were just on the body layer. Alright, it's fine. I can just put them over. Or can I? Yeah, that worked. Can I? Alright. That might be done for today. Let's take one more look. The hair looks fine. It's not perfect, but it's like it doesn't have like any big pops, just a couple little ones, I guess. I feel like the hairs, well, that doesn't especially look good. Work on that a little more. Yeah, see, now it looks like it's turning. Good. Everyone is lazy in modern art. What do you mean by pooping on the floor? Getting paid in a pooping at an art gallery, getting paid for public indecency. Well, I think what was I saying? I was saying, like, you need a bit of traditional values when it comes to art, because if you're pooping in a can and canning your shit and it says canned shit on it, yeah, I agree that that is art, but it's also not the kind of art that I seek out. So why would anyone say that this is a type of art? This is modern art. This is like what you need to be looking at now. Keep in mind that people are canning their own shit like 100 years ago. Art was exploding like 100 years ago. Like cartoons, animations, surrealism, cubism, Dada, all of this fucked up shit. And some of it was literal shit. And, you know, no offense to any artist, but a lot of art out there is crap. And I can say that about AI because nobody actually made it. It's not even slop. It's trash. You know, some art is slop, meaning it's like good enough, and other art is trash, where it really just goes straight into the garbage and gets left on the cutting room floor. It's like, how do you make art that is both cutting edge in some way, but not some joke about art itself? You know, like, that's something I struggle with. I always have to answer that question. Like, I made a whole cartoon that almost feels like a normal cartoon until you see the punchline of Dot Warner's feet. And then you realize that the whole thing is making fun of the idea of like a cartoon with like a happy ending. Although it's also entirely being that. I do think that's the happy ending when it comes to Adolf Hitler. Can only ever hope for that. Art is not meaning, it's visual. Nobody cares about meaning. Well, the meaning will differ from person to person. Like, you should never sit there reading an artist's description of why they made something, because that's not even part of the art, really. I guess that could be interesting. That could be insight, but like, you don't actually need that description to enjoy the art. And, you know, some people even mishear lyrics and stuff, which is like, what are you gonna tell them, that they enjoyed the art wrong? It's personal for every person how they feel about art. Now, there are intentions from the artist that get perfectly received by every art patron or whoever, you know, consumer, I guess. But not everything is going to be like that. And I think the best works will leave a certain amount of vagueness so that you can try and solve the puzzle in your mind before they give you the answer. So like, yes, I agree a little bit that art doesn't necessarily have to have meaning, because if you like art, then you will just come up with your own meaning for it. But yeah, I do disagree a little in the sense that the artist definitely had something about it that meant something to them, and it is most likely that is being transferred as it should. This, you know, if the artist is skilled, if the artist knows what they're doing, then they're going to communicate that feeling, that meaning. But it's always going to hold a personal meaning that no one but the artist is going to understand. Nobody's gonna get it. And they don't have to explain that to you if they don't feel like it. Some art is very mysterious. Some of it has hidden meanings. Even my art has hidden meanings that I don't really want to talk about. And if people are talking about it, that's fine. I just don't want to talk about it. But yeah, I mean, this is an interesting conversation because I remember being at the MoMA a few times, the Museum of Modern Art in Manhattan. It's mostly garbage. It mostly stinks. It's people trying to be art. That's, you know, the sort of thing that Doug made fun of with his sister who went to like an annoying art school. Like, how can I shock the world with my stupid fucking art? It feels like that's the modern artist's goal. Well, I think it's difficult to imagine art beyond what we've already seen. You know, like if you're an artist in the 1910s or something, and you're thinking about like the greatest of all time, like Leonardo da Vinci. It's like Leonardo da Vinci was better than me because he invented the airplane 500 years before it existed. And you know, all I invented was a way to spend money in your dreams. Yeah, just go to bed with your wallet in your pocket and you can buy things in dreams. That's me. That's me being as genius as Da Vinci. But yeah, like, it's a bit existential. And I feel like that's what Italy was feeling at this point. They were thinking about destroying everything and rebuilding it completely new. And those people were called futurists. And they eventually merged with a political movement called the fascists. And there eventually was really no distinction between the art movement and the political movement. But that's what I've gathered from Wikipedia. I've never taken an art history class where they talked about that. Oh wait, no, they did. That's how I learned it. Except they didn't specify that, like, the founding guy was like also like a you know, kind of like a Hitler kind of guy. He didn't become dictator. He just was like a kooky artist named Marinetti who thought, like, he thought pasta was making Italians weak. So he invented food. He like invented new foods. It's like the closest thing to AI generated food. Some weird shit. Because I don't know, he had weird ideas. He had ideas about the future, I guess, is the biggest focus. But like these fucking these fucking futurists, like fucking, wait, what's his name? Botticelli? No, Botticelli is Renaissance. Who am I thinking of? Macaroni. It's like, yeah, his fucking name. Yeah, it's the first thing that comes up when you look up futurist art. A Boccioni. Not Botticelli. Yeah, okay, sorry. But anyway, Botticelli is someone else. That's a Renaissance painter that did Venus and the Giant Clam. Boccioni did this, like, freaky gold or brass statue guy who looks like he's made of fire. And Boccioni fell off a horse and died before ever going into battle. Not a very futuristic way to die, I think. Call yourself a futurist? Now, this was World War I shit. So I don't even know if there was a whole lot of similarity between them and fascist Italy. But that was what led to fascist Italy, was these fucking guys who fell off a horse. And, like, you'd think they all just, like, died and went away. But then, like, in the 80s, we had, like, a huge revival. And, like, you know, all the, like, 80s, 90s looking things, like squiggly lines and circles and squares with, like, dashes. That's like, where that art movement ended up. Like, it's more stupid shit. Like, let's redesign the teapot so it's stupid looking. Well, you know, they did come up with some cool ideas, but it was mostly impractical furniture. You know how we were talking about modern art and, like, canned shit? It's like, we went from canned shit to impractical furniture. Okay, artist shit was from the 60s, not the 20s. Perfectly preserved in a can. I'm sure that canned shit is still good to this day. There was a whole movement of terrible art. Shock art, Wikipedia says. It's like, what was her name? I'm sure it's here. There was this woman whose art was a gun. It was like, the art was her and a gun, and you're allowed to kill her with the gun. It's like, people who come into the gallery can shoot her with the gun. I think the gun is loaded, but nobody actually pulls the trigger and murders her. But that was the art, that she could potentially get shot. I'm not judging anyone. I think everyone, like I was saying the other day, everyone is a unique artist with a unique vision. And I think the more we try to commercialize art, the less our unique vision will stand. it's not all about the fucking commercials. Oh, like, not everything has to be a Macy's balloon. Although I suppose when I think about it, Dog of Wisdom could probably be a Macy's balloon with how popular it is. But that's the only reason. That's the only reason it would be a balloon. Fuck off. It's like biting me. Oh, I'm almost done here. Maybe I can raid. Anyone playing Braid? Oh. Alright, let me work on this for like 5 more minutes and then it's going to Fred. How about the dots? Doesn't seem like she's got whiskers, only dots. I see a pop. Well, it's a little pop. I could probably just fudge it a bit, right? Get that line of action in there. Alright, I think this is done. Cool. Alright, well. Any last questions before I go? Fix that. Other way. Yeah, I mean, modern art, let's see, final thoughts on modern art. It's like, you do have to evolve art. You can't just stagnate, because then you're Hitler. But if you evolve too much, then you destroy everything. Then you're Mussolini. You have to be something in between Hitler and Mussolini. Well, animation is modern art. Even the earliest animations are modern art, because we've, you know, let's maybe think about where did art die? In art history, they taught us that Andy Warhol was where art was just done. It's like, okay, this is the death of art. Pop art is the death of art. And what we make today is some combination of pop art and modern art, and all of our jokes, all of our online memes, all of our jokeums are some form of Dadaist humor, right? It's like Shrek pregnant with Batman is Dada, or it's like following the same thread from surrealism to now. It's like making fun of popular culture like pop art. This is all just like all we have to fucking work with. Meta modernism. Yeah, sure, whatever you want to call it. It's all just like the dregs of art, where, you know, you go to the fucking golden ages where it's like you go to like the Renaissance, and it's like the Renaissance is represents like the time where everyone got good, right? It's like suddenly there was a reason to get really good at making things look real. Or maybe it was like the invention of the camera obscura made it so everybody pretended they were good at anatomy. They were actually just tracing. But regardless, it represented a much greater understanding of the human form, and also a much more robust way of telling classical biblical stories than before. You look at like religious art from the Middle Ages, it's all terrible. Or, it's like they didn't really study things, they didn't have like contrapposto, like they didn't have all these like Italian words for which basically all just mean something that looks good. Contrapposto is like when a character is standing in a dynamic, like you can probably even see it on this character. Yes, you can, because the character is not just standing like straight with its hips and shoulders like that. The character is standing at a tilt. There's a clear, even if it's kind of not like super exaggerated because it's a more like realistic figure, but you can still tell there is a clear line of action like that, and the pose is tilted one way and another way to give it that line. And you can see it a little bit, that this hip is slightly higher than that hip, and this shoulder, well, actually these shoulders are almost on the same level, but you can see there's still a slight line of action, so I think it's maybe this shoulder is slightly higher. Play the animation and see if we can tell. It's not too much movement. The character's pose doesn't change dramatically. But yeah, contrapposto is just like something they didn't really do before. They just like, hi, I'm Jesus, I look like this. And then, later they would have like fucking Jesus' like head from this angle. Show all the like, all the new tech that they didn't have before. I feel like we had that in our lifetimes, but it might be over now. Because now when new tech comes out, it's not exciting. It's like, when was the last time, like, even rendering was cool? Like, I remember when Frozen came out, they were talking about the snow in Frozen. It's like, this is a breakthrough. And, while I'm not denying it was a breakthrough, I feel like it's not the kind of breakthroughs we used to have, where it was like a huge new step, like a huge step forward. Another example is like going from PS4 to PS5. It doesn't look like they added a whole lot of, like, it's not like they revolutionized gaming again with the PlayStation and then again with the PlayStation 2. It's like they added real-time reflections on the PS5. That's cool, but like not worth buying a whole system for, right? Especially when it looks like that. It's like kind of weird looking. I mean, I guess that hasn't stopped me before. The GameCube was kind of weird looking. Even the Xbox, like the original one, was kind of weirdly shaped. But anyway, I'm completely off the topic. Talk about art. It's like modern art is more than one thing. There's a few facets of it. It's not just shock art and non-art. But I feel like the need to create traditional art has probably waned, especially since people would rather look at those things because those were the revolutionary things. It's like, I would rather play GTA 3 than a remake of it. Well, actually, if they make the next GTA take place in New York, well, that's not the same thing as a remake. But they already did a more robust version of that with GTA 4. Man, it is so so much easier said than done to be like, hey, they should make a GTA about Philly. It's easier said than done. That's why I'm a promptist, because I don't do things. I just think of things. Which, you know, if you're George Lucas, I'll allow it. But that's specifically because he should not be allowed to work with human beings. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if they used ChatGPT on the newest GTA game. I'm sure there's like 20 million lines of dialogue to write and 20 million lines of code. But yeah, that's where we are now with art. We have automatically generated art that follows the same formulas that we've already seen a million times. So therefore, it's not really revolutionary, and it's not really art. I mean, it's revolutionary technology, but we had that before with CG, and it didn't necessarily yield anything good. It had to take the right people discovering it. So, you know, I feel like maybe we don't have as much crappy modern art now as we did like in the 60s, right? Ow. People shouldn't use it for replacements. Well, you know, the big companies already made their decision. They already decided years and years ago that they were going to replace you with computers. They did that in the Jungle Book, and it's like, I don't know, I love the Jungle Book, but the whole idea was, you know, they made 101 Dalmatians with Xerox machines, and those Xerox machines replaced people. But don't worry, they still gave more work to the animators, so it's like now the animators have to draw even more accurately. And all those women got fired. They were women. For some reason, there weren't any women animators. Just women ink and paint artists. And they all lost their jobs. So that sucks, but you know, these companies have already made their decision. They care about saving money wherever they can. What's insane to me is the anti-AI people's stance against it is just something that's going to benefit the companies again. We need to legislate so only the right people can use it. That's true. I also don't agree with that. I feel like you shouldn't create laws because the big companies can just sidestep laws. They can just do whatever they want. Like, they're gonna use that to their benefit. It's like, it really should be, it shouldn't even be a stock. That's why I hate even talking about AI, because I don't invest in that shit. I'm not talking about it because I'm invested in it. I talk about it because I do see the potential for animation and film, but I also see the potential for infinite garbage, and I want there to be sort of bubble popping moment followed by a period of 2 to 5 years before I'm even thinking about actually good art being made using AI. It's too much stupid fucking hype from Apple, who's just like, remember us? We also want big piles of money. It's like, there's no point to it except saving money for some rich kook who believes that, like, shadows are from another dimension and that fruit gives you superpowers. Some friggin' Doug Levinson who believes he can fly. Steve Jobs probably thought he could live forever. Hey, ChatGPT, can I live forever? Of course you can live forever if you believe. Anyway, we all have our own feelings on this shit, and I feel like it's good to vent them. But sometimes you should vent them to an AI because they don't have feelings. If you're really mad, you might have to vent them privately. I don't think anti-AI is really inaccurate. I also feel very strongly anti in some ways. But I'm not thinking about like, hey, how can we give this to somebody like Disney? You know, I'm not thinking that, and that's what they're doing. They're gonna be using it. They're definitely developing their own. But just remember, they can't make anything good. They can only make something formulaic and solid. They can make it tight, but they can't make any. You can't invent imagination. Technology does not make art better. I guess it creates new opportunities for art, but like I'm not even done using Macromedia Flash. Technology progressing is not linear, not for me. AI hysteria, like, oh no, you linked a chatbot, don't you know I'm anti-AI? Yeah, well, you know, I'm seeing a sort of a quiet social media revolution where people are using Blue Sky, which does not reward that sort of thing, and people are not really inclined to do it if there's no point, if you're not even getting likes or attention from throwing a fit over some little thing that you saw someone else do. I think a quiet social media revolution is happening where people are a little bit better at minding their own business and not acting like, you know, ban this sick filth when you could just like click a button to block it. That's at least how I've been acting lately. It's like, instead of just like tweeting angrily at big corporations who screwed people over or something, or even just like a guy I don't like, I can just walk away. I can just say, that's fine. I don't need this shit. And they're free to do what they want. And yeah, if what they're doing is horrible, then they're free to get in deep shit for it. If you're making AI, then yeah, people are going to doubt your artistry. They're going to look at you as if like I'm gonna be looking at Coca-Cola now, like it's not even like it doesn't taste like Coca-Cola anymore because they advertised it so badly. Blue Sky has its own funny issues. Guy I know was somehow preemptively banned due to Twitter people blocklist carrying over somehow. Yeah, it's, you know, I see a lot of new people in there, and that's a sign that it's just like gone to shit. Just too many fuckers, and that's just any website, any site can be ruined by too many fuckers. And with the fuckers comes all of their bot followers. You have to like block those. But like, you know, I don't even go on Blue Sky to look at anyone's posts. I go on Blue Sky to post. I go on Blue Sky to look at my own posts. It's no better than Twitter. It just works where Twitter doesn't even work anymore. It's like you can't post a link without it getting hidden somehow. You can't post something without like bots spamming you and wasting your life. That it doesn't work anymore. The nicest thing I could say about Twitter was that it still worked, and now it doesn't even work. It doesn't work as it's supposed to, as it's fucking supposed to. And yeah, you can't even like look at people. You can't even look at like some shit without being logged into Twitter. Like, it's like you go to somebody's You go to somebody's profile and it's just their top tweets. Then 6 months later, you go to their profile and it's nothing. It's log the fuck in, bitch. It's like, no! It's like, do you realize how bad that would be for me if I logged in? I'd be wasting even more time than I am right now. Social media hell world? Well, yeah, it's hell because it's like everything you see is punishing. How about I'm not looking? It's like, what have you lost somehow because you didn't look? No, you haven't. You won. You won the battle in the war if you don't look at their stupid shit. It's like now they're gonna be crying and shitting because you're not looking at their dumb fucking shit. It's like, whatever. I don't look at anybody's posts. I look at my own posts. I only like my posts. And on Twitter, you're held hostage to all kinds of shit. So like you feel like you're made to feel like it's so brave to go against these people, but all it really does is give more ad revenue to the site, which amounts to like 30 cents. They don't even care about it. Meanwhile, you could be screaming your head off at a chatbot, and you know, you could be like, you could tell a chatbot that you're coming to kill it without getting banned. You can role play killing it, say beats you over the head with a stick, and they could be like, ouch, ouch. Instagram is ruined too. I deleted my art and photography from my accounts there. Yeah, I finished like half an hour ago. Now I'm just like talking. Let me do some doodling actually, since I still have some coffee left. Let me send LeBlanc to Fred. All right, that's that. I think. Let Maestro be the judge. Twitter owns all the art you post. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to post shit on Twitter if they're just gonna feed it into their stupid bot and be like, you know, so they can give it to blue check marks, people with no personality, you know, pretending to the 3 bots that reply to all of their posts that they're an artist. They're like, wow, that's such a good wow, that's such a good oil painting of subject. And it's like, I know, I painted it with real oil by myself. Well, you know, I don't think there's really anything wrong with using that as long as you're not parading around like as if you knew how to create something. That's basically how they're marketing AI on Apple commercials. Like, I really hope AI destroys big tech somehow, because it feels like that's what needs to happen. It's like, how many times are they gonna introduce these stupid products that aren't even real products and not go bankrupt? It's like, how come we're going bankrupt and they're just like douching it up? Not that I think you should go after some vague idea of a tech bro, because people do that shit to me and I hate it. Tech bro. This seems very tech bro to me. You making money is tech bro. It's like people just want their like dopamine. They don't care if they're going after a billionaire or someone even poorer than they are. Like, why does every loser from California have to have an opinion about me? It's just Twitter rewarding all those people. Get the fuck off Twitter. Turning everybody into psychopaths. Even Elon Musk would probably be normal if he wasn't on Twitter. You think he wants to be this way because he owns the site, but he's just as addicted as everybody else. I'm normal now. Darth Vader at the end of Star Wars. He's nice now. It's like, yeah, like Darth Vader dies and becomes a ghost. Spoiler. And then he's nice now. He was nice now before dying. Yeah, he was nice now. He wasn't bad, just depressed. You can be both. The guy I saw a while having the "grr, I'm anti-AI" meltdown over getting linked to chatbot was using a mocap program with an AI face tracker. This is like, if you have no personality, how else are you going to get likes on Twitter from other dopamine addicts? It's also very AI behavior to hate AI. At this point, I'm very skeptical of those people, because what, they're just like, they have endless time to hate AI? Like, what kind of person has endless time? It's not a person at all. It's a fucking bot. And it's like, you see those people, and they're not even bots. They're people, and they just always have something to be mad at. It's always the same shit. And then you go on Blue Sky, and everyone's acting like a real person. And then a week later, you get all those fucking people back. Blue Sky, I knew it was gonna be cool once. And no longer now. Because that's the fate of every website that you've ever liked. It becomes not cool anymore. I have no idea what this is now. It's like auto-playing shit. I want to do a little bit of sketching and then get out of here. Oh wow, Blue Sky. I love Blue Sky. It's so much better than Twitter. And that's all they post. I mean, it is better than Twitter, but I don't want to say that because we're full. Stop joining. Well, maybe that's what they were thinking, because like for a long time Blue Sky was private. You couldn't get in. And then the floodgates opened and everyone from Brazil came in because Brazil like banned Twitter. When Twitter was launched, I remember someone calling it verbal incontinence. What exactly are you doing here? Well, I was working, but now I'm done, and now I just want to do a little sketching. Let's do some layers. I'm addicted to dopamine. I'm addicted to dopey. Go draw dopey. How do you even draw dopey? I need a reference. May open up the movie, but not the audio. Yeah, don't make it that big. I heard TikTok's potentially going to be banned next year. Yeah, well, I won't be losing it because I don't use it. I'm not using it. Fast forward to the dope. Go to the part where he's like, there it is, right here. Look what Walt made them do. I guess it's kind of small. Here, I'll make it a little bigger. It's like, one of the animators added a little skip to Dopey's walk. That. And Walt Disney liked it so much that he was like, you have to add that to every shot with Dopey in it. Stupid little bounce. It's great. The Dopey walk. This is how he would walk everywhere if there weren't people looking. There's multiple instances of that. dopey walk. Doing the dopey. Do the dopey. Oh yeah, there was like a there was a Snow White movie trailer that came out, and it's being universally panned. It is universally bad. Well, also it's just like you can't make a remake of a good movie because it'll just be bad. Why not remake a bad movie? You can only get better, right? You can't make it worse, can you? It's like, this is good. Like, this is what the people who work at Disney don't even realize. That this is actually good. That this took, like, artistry and effort. And they don't put any of that shit into their movies, and they think they can somehow get art out of it. Well, no, they don't. They just care about money. But even when they cared about money before, they cared about art and thought that, you know, art is our best bet to making money. I'm confused about that still. I can't say like how do you create these conditions? Because it felt like they knew what they were doing here and in the 90s. And like before and after that, it feels like they're just thinking about saving money. They're just thinking about making back their money. They're not thinking like, you know, we could make $1 trillion with this thing. They're thinking, hey, maybe we can make $1 billion. Like, look at how much work was done just for this shot of the woman standing there. It's like 1,000 drawings of her standing there. It's like, look how much work went into just this one shot. I mean, you know, they had a human reference for the body and the hands, but that face had to be done by a cartoonist. It had to be completely figured out by the cartoonist. And even with reference, that shit's not easy to draw. You know, making it look like it's really alive, that's not easy. But like they look like they took everything easy with the fucking, like, here, let's play it. I don't know what this is. I can turn it off. Like, Snow White trailer 2024. It's like, not only did they use that exact fucking shot from like everything of the like dwarves bumping into each other, they did it so badly too. Also, okay, first, wait, that was a good frame to pause on. First problem. I'm doing like a your movie sucks right here. This motherfucking script is already ruined because Snow White is no hero. She's just an idiot princess. She's a fuck fool. Like, this is the girl who accepted that apple from that witch and ate it and just kept eating it until she died. It's like, why are we taking that character and trying to act like she's smart or something? It's like, actually, Snow White understood the political situation better than the king or the queen. It's like an evil queen. Like, she shouldn't even understand that. She should be trusting of the evil queen. I forget in the original how that goes. I don't think they even meet. They don't even meet. So they changed that already, that they have a relationship. While here it's just like, I don't fucking know. She's just a princess. So who's the queen to her? Is that her mom? It's never explained. I guess a queen doesn't necessarily need to be your mom. She could be not even blood related. But all that shit aside, there was never a moment in the entire movie where she meets the queen, except for when the queen is disguised as a witch. Snow White is her own queen. Yeah, alright, let's keep playing this.
What did you say?
So like she stands up to the queen in the first few minutes of the movie.
The people need some kindness.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
And it's always the same shit from the beginning of their crappy live action movies to now. It's the same fucking crap. It's like, women shouldn't be thinking. They should be stinking. It's like this like capitalist feminism that we've already seen in like the fucking 90s or earlier. It's like, wow, Snow White, you sure are opinionated. It's like, wow, this evil Snow White queen reminds me of my evil boyfriend.
You know, I really don't remember.
He said the same thing about my bad opinions.
Who is the fairest of them all?
I don't understand. Why would she even need to ask? Also, like, there's nothing impressive about this CG here. The mask from the original is still cooler because it's like fucking freaky looking. Look at it. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with the technology, although I think this probably was cutting edge technology at the time. You know, they probably were using the multi-plane camera for this. You know, there's like a smoke effect that might have been like double exposed, making the mask even like more ethereal looking. But like this is almost Tron levels of CG. It's not like, it doesn't look like shit, but it's also like nothing new. Like, well, yeah, like I guess what I'm imagining is like you need to do something that is not like done with like brand new technology, but like a sort of novel way of using the technology that hasn't yet been done. It's like, it's okay if you don't immediately see the potential of an art tool, but it feels like film has just become cheaper. Like, look, they're not even in any of these environments. They're not in any of these places. There's no actual emotion on any of the faces.
My parents always said this forest was a magical place.
Ugh. CG animals suck. I mean, I feel like they could probably exaggerate the animals even more.
Hello?
They look too exaggerated, but I feel like they could do it even more to make it look more like a cartoon. They just don't look like they're there at all. Like, that would have been the real magic. Okay, that's the shot I was talking about. The real magic would have been Snow White, the actress, having a face of delight seeing a bird land on her. But look at this face. There's no emotion. She doesn't believe there's a bird on her finger. It's just another stupid fucking day at Disney. Another shitty day in the shit kingdom. It's like, imagine if, you know, you could just use Snapchat to make her look happy and fix it. It's like, why wouldn't she be like, oh, it's covering me. Why wouldn't she be like this and, you know, all kinds of girly shit? Like, well, Snow White can't be girly because something. She has to look so mad when that bird is on her finger. She has to look like she's about to shove it into her mouth. Like, Snow White would do anything to kill that bird, but it flew away too quickly. No delight, no wonder. There's no sense of Disney in any of this. Except maybe Song of the South, that looks like it was made by slaves. Okay, so this is the part I wanted to complain about. The dwarves bumping into each other with the least amount of effort. It's like if you were like working at Hanna-Barbera doing sound effects and they gave you this, you'd cover everything with a sock so it makes nothing of a sound. It's like you're like crying in the middle of a green screen room, like, this is not why I became a sound Foley artist. Oh, she actually smiled. She's not looking at anything, she doesn't feel anything, she doesn't act like she's really there. Nobody is under the spell of this story because they know it's just some stupid fucking movie.
It's time to restore all of us.
Also, I bet the name Dopey was changed. I bet you they changed Dopey to like what's Dopey called now? No, but like they can't get rid of Dopey. They're still selling Dopey stuff. Depressing colonial era pictures. It's like when you find a bunch of citizens gotten massacred by British guards. Not even Song of the South, because Song of the South was post-emancipation US setting-wise. It would be even better if they used Celimation like Roger Rabbit. Well, yeah, I mean, we all think that. But look, they're making us smell their ass farts because you know it, we know it, they know it. They're all too fucking cheap. They made Princess and the Frog, but then they gave up. You know, it might have been a pain in the ass to make that movie because it was like their first all digital movie, I think. But you know, they don't seem to care that much about having to leave behind hand-drawn animation. They'll take this fucking nightmare crap any day because they think that we'll just accept anything. God, and this is why we want to shoot CEOs, because they give this to us and insist that it's the same value as the thing that they took. It's like people really need to be like shot in the street over this, right? That doesn't even seem like an overreaction. You know who said that shit? Garfield. You know, I feel like whoever's responsible for this really ought to be drug out into the street and shot. He's no longer Dopey, he's Doofus. I can't tell if you're joking. Doofus. It's like Doofus, but not Doofus. Is it really Doofus? I can't even tell if it's a joke. It sounds like a joke. It sounds like a thing that you would make up. And it sounds like something I would make up. You're not joking? It's Doofus? All right. Well, I guess that sounds like the name they would give him. Doofus. He's Doofus. But they're not ever going to stop selling Dopey merchandise. They might just stop saying Dopey on it. I mean, you might not wear a shirt with Dopey that says Dopey, because then it implies that you're Dopey. But I guess, you know, that's fine, as long as you're not giving that shirt to someone else. Like in like 20 years, when like the Earth has seen like 50 nuclear wars, there's just gonna be like Dopey for Dick shirts with like sequins all over it. You could probably buy that right now in like St. Mark's Street. Anyway, I gotta get out of here. I gotta make dinner. But yeah, this has been fun watching this crapola and venting a little bit about it. I'm certainly not the first to bitch about this bad movie. Pretty much everyone in the comments section is saying the same. Well, maybe they're not saying what I'm saying, but they all feel it. They all feel how cheap and low effort this is, and hollow and without feeling and without soul and without a point. There's no purpose. It's like, you see that? You see this thing where like Dupus has gems on his eyes? One of those dudes got paid $5 to come up with that gag. It's like Walt Disney was like, I'll pay you $5 per gag. And yeah, it was 1930 something. So $5 was worth something, not nothing. But it's definitely not enough. It's definitely not enough for the amount that they're exploiting it now. They paid $5 for this, and they're using it in their trailer as if this has any emotion to it. As if this actually carries the feeling that the guy with $5 had. It looks like nothing. It looks like completely nothing. It took me a minute to even realize what it was supposed to be. Yeah. Not good. They'll do this, but they won't make they won't make something new. They won't make a new movie that they feel like they could be proud of. They can only remind you of an old one. Which is too bad, because you'd think that if Disney can't make animated movies anymore, then someone could. But it feels almost like no one wants to make animated movies. They just want to make money. And they're just going to make mobile games because that makes more money than movies. Like the Dupus mobile game. Like, where's Dupus's water? $5 was enough money to pay rent, not including food and electricity. Yeah, it'd probably cost $5 for like you'd probably spend $5 on like a down payment for a car. Nah, it honestly wasn't even that much. It was probably like $100. But also, Disney Pictures was not like the biggest shit in the world back then. They didn't even have motion pictures. They didn't even make movies back then. They just made short movies like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Now they're doing actual movies, and it's, Walt Disney is taking a significant risk. He spent millions and he made millions. Although today he would have made billions. He made like 500, 600 million or something crazy like that, after spending like 1 to 2 million, which was also crazy. Now it's like absolutely nothing. You translate that to today's money, it's not even close to what they spend on a big budget animated movie. You can make like 4 Snow Whites with one this. It's like, where's all that money go? Who cares? Just throw it into the furnace. They don't care because they can afford to lose millions of dollars. But they also act like they need it. Like they need a surefire hit, and that's why they just like copy movies that they already did. It's like, stop doing that shit. Stop tracing your own work. It's not even their own work, so they have even less right to it. Snow White is going to be public domain in like 10 years. 8 years, actually, because January 1st is Public Domain Day, and 2033 is January 1st, 2033 is the date that we get to upload Snow White to our YouTube channels. Now, if Disney can help it, well, they can't help it. But they'll do everything they can. They can't stop it. They couldn't stop Mickey Mouse and Steamboat Willie from landing into the public domain. That was a year ago, and in a month, we'll have like a whole batch of Mickey Mouses that come into the public domain. Maybe even more characters. So like they didn't have any way of preventing that, but they had a way of delaying it. They delayed it for like 50 years or some shit. They delayed it for 20 years or 40 years, or I don't even know. They delayed it as long as they could, and they will, you know how they made this shit. They'll exploit it as much as they can before they lose exclusive rights, but they'll probably continue doing it even after. Like, here's an example. Snow White is already public domain, but Disney's Snow White is not, and in 8 years it will be. So even this gag that cost $5 will be mine. I can say it's, you know, it's not mine in the sense that I can prevent people from making it, but it's mine in the sense that I can use it in any way I want. I can make Dopey for Dick. I can make a t-shirt covered in sequins that says Dopey for Dick. It's just that one frame. Let me find it. It's that one frame of Dopey with his tongue hanging out. I can't wait. I can't wait for, in 8 years, somebody will just, like, send me a photo of that, because I completely forgot about it. Or is it the one where he's got, is it this frame where he's got the gems on his eyes? It might be. That's hi-ho. Happens before, wait. Right before this or right after this? Here we go. Okay, so Dopey, he's like, Yes, that's the face he makes. But yeah, like, you know, just look at the expressions. The difference between the expressions. Yeah, this is in a dated cartoon style, but that's what they needed. This is not in any style. What style is this? This is AI. It's not made by AI, but it's indistinguishable from AI. Is bokeh supposed to squash like that? You see that shit? I don't even know how to pronounce it. Bokeh? Bokeh? It's like little blurry dots in the background. Why are they tall? That's not supposed to do that. Is this whole trailer stretched out? I mean, it's already in the right format. It's like, you know, this window is 16 by 9, but then this window within the window is already like letterbox. So like, what the? Why is the bokeh squinched? They do a Helios M44 2-type bokeh. You're saying that this is an effect you can actually get? I see. What was the creative decision behind that? I don't know, but they thought more about that than they thought about this. This is the final part of the trailer where Grumpy crosses his arms and the squirrel impersonates him. Ugh, God, this guy's face just looks like it's made of wood. It's like they could have had a good movie, but it's just like there's just like corner cutting on literally everywhere. I don't know why. It's not just this, but like lots of modern movies, the environment feels really dead. Like there's not much life in it. Maybe it's because it's all blurry. Because it looks like shit, so they blur it. I mean, she's really walking down those stairs, right? She doesn't even walk down them. She doesn't even walk down the stairs because the stairs aren't even there.
The queen is evil. You must flee into the woods.
This forest was.
Of them all. I just want to be the fairest of them all.
Lovely maiden I now behold.
I look at you, and I just want to be the fairest of them all.
The queen is evil. You must flee.
The
into
fairest of them all. It's like they had to turn Snow White into Game of Thrones.
Hello? Hello? Is there anybody here?
Maddening shitfuckery. It's like people ought to be arrested for this. When a movie is this bad, someone needs to get arrested. They need to be sent to hell and jail on the sun.
It's a human.
What did you think I was?
It's all just like nothing looks finished, right? Like
It's a human.
there's always either too much mocap or not enough.
You'll be safe from the queen here.
It's like you ever just like find yourself watching one of these movies and you're like completely zoned out. Why did that look so bad? I'm like not even sure. Yeah, there's lots of issues here. The sense of scale is not there with these little men. They look huge. Look how big the shot makes them look.
I was.
And then like none of the shots with Snow White next to them look even like remotely like they're there in the same room.
Stole everything from all of us.
But like Snow White doesn't know that. She doesn't care about that. I feel like there's a lot of problems going on, but my biggest might be that they just misunderstand the character. It's like Snow White is an idiot child. She's like something between a little girl and an old woman. She's in her own world.
Here.
She cares about little animals and cleaning.
From the queen here.
And you know, there's this part at the beginning where she's chased off into the woods. But even then, I don't think she really suspects the queen. I think the woodsman guy tells her who sent him. And he lets her go.
Find Snow White.
Also, Snow White
Kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
You were saying.
Snow White doesn't sing that way.
I'm sorry.
Snow White has a creepy voice.
Did I frighten you?
Hi ho. Oh, brother. There's a whole controversy. This is the 5th or 6th reshoot because early shootings, the dwarves were normal-sized magical people. Oh, God. Lenses are so cheap. They actually rehouse them for cinema, which is funny because I have some Chinese-made lenses that get the same effect. Ah. So that weird stretch out bokeh is like a cheap camera. But it's like CG, so is it even really caused by that? Like, I'm all for CGI animals for their like realistic textures, but they don't animate them realistically.
This forest was a magical place.
They're trying too hard to make them look cartoony and appealing like in the original, but it's just uncanny valley. Look at that smiling squirrel. It sucks. It's like the critters in Snow White were cute. They looked like something. I feel like it was like they had to do it that way because all they had done were cartoons, and you know, it's really hard to make them look like really realistic. All they had to do was make them convincing, and they're adorable. It's so cute. Look at that bunny. Look at that bunny that's just like barely even in this movie, but it's the role of a lifetime for him. Him walking around in these tiny little shoes that are gigantic for him. You see that guy? Adorable. Not like this fucking nightmare from hell. It's like, what does this remind me of? Looks a little bit more expressive than the Lion King remake. Well, yeah, probably because they're a little bit further away from the camera. It's like maybe a little bit less uncanny if they smile.
Hello? Is there anybody here?
What was that?
Hello? Is there anybody here?
I guess he's just taking really short steps, but that hedgehog looks like he's not even animated. He looks like he's just sliding in like a RC toy.
Hello? Is there anybody?
See that shit?
Is there anybody?
The little hedgehog here,
Is there anybody here?
he's barely walking.
Hello? Is there anybody?
No, he's moving.
Is there anybody here?
But like all the other animals are so floaty. Why'd they make Hi-Ho sound like hi ho?
What did you think I was?
Nothing, Ghost. You'll be safe from the Queen here.
The Queen stole everything from all of us. I'm gonna need your help.
Well, like
It's time to restore.
Snow White doesn't have ambitions. She doesn't care about the other people in the kingdom. She's just a princess. I'm just a girl. Hee hee hee.
This is our kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
You were saying.
It's like,
Back.
why'd they make her into Gus Fring? She's Snow White.
You were saying.
Like, what is it so offensive to show a girl cowering in fear from a blade, from something deadly? It's like, oh, Snow White, known for being fearless, known for riding a horse into battle.
I'm sorry, my dear.
No, she's known for eating apple and dying. She's known for baking a pie for this grumpy old fuck and making him smile. She's known for cleaning this disgusting house, which desperately needed her to clean it. And these disgusting men who she makes clean themselves. It's like the statement they are making is that those things are stupid. or those things make you weak, right? That's what they mean to say. That like, oh, Snow White doesn't act like Snow White. That would make her lame. It's like, but she's the hero. She's the good guy. She doesn't have to, wield Excalibur, for fuck's sake. That wouldn't make her good. It'd make her generic like every other shit fuckery. There's a million ways you can make this generic, but like they chose the ones that seem like they're the most commonly recurring. Like, take the girl, take anything girly out of the girl character, but still have her dress like a girl. Wipe the fucking smile off her face, because this is Game of Thrones. She doesn't even act like a tomboy. She acts like a political ad. Political ad, you say? Yeah, like they still think that the 2016 election is going on. Like, this is a chance for the first time a girl gets to kick butt. It's like, come on. Like, I need you to get shot. I don't want you to get shot, but things are getting dire here. I kind of need you to get shot for making this. No offense. Nothing personal. But this, I feel threatened by this. I feel like Russia can look at this. They can point to this. People in Russia and China with nuclear weapons can point to this like, oh yeah, these people would be very conquerable. Yeah, I think we could just take over. This is what they're making now. It's like they could make this shit in countries you've never heard of.
Hello? Is there anybody here?
That's what they used to do. This shit used to be bootleg. Or like, I guess Disney did start the whole live action thing in like the 90s, or maybe even earlier.
It's a human.
What did you think I was?
But like,
Ghost.
they've just been pumping them out, like, of literally everything they made
From all of us.
for
I need your help.
like 10 years now, and it hasn't evolved. It hasn't gotten better. It's just the same exact formula. It's like, take the classic story, add just like a little bit of poison, just immerse it entirely in poison.
Our kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
You were saying.
That's not how it. That's not what happens. Snow White is passive. She gets exiled, does nothing wrong, and gets exiled. She even defeats the villain while doing nothing. She is passive. You don't simply change that one little thing. It is completely opposite of what her character is. And they just keep on doing it. When are we gonna see some people drop dead over this shit? Fuck getting fired. Fuck getting sued. What about death? I mean, that is actually pretty grisly. Somebody gets fucking killed over shit. But like, it's like, I do feel like I'm in danger watching this fucking trailer. It's like, how many more years does my country have before it just like goes up in smoke because we don't know how to be a country, because we're just chasing some forgotten about dream. Like, nobody who worked on this understood at all what they were going for. said too much about Disney. Oh, it's because the stupid movies are on. Yeah. I'm not doing it now. Stream unavailable for blah blah blah. Did my YouTube channel get taken down? I'm back. The prince gave me a kiss and I'm alive again. No, it wasn't because I said we need change so bad that I'd even welcome the assassination of CEOs. I mean, I'm not serious about that. I just want change. No, that they don't take down your stream for that. They take down your stream if you show Disney's copyright, our intellectual property, our copyright, are propped up by copyright, even though we don't do anything with it that's any good and deserves to be shot dead in the streets of New York. I mean, yeah, like, I just got rid of the stupid trailer and now we're good. Stupid. We own that. Right, so like when they make this remake, they can say they own that and you can't steal that, but it's not like you'd want to. I guess they thought I did, and now I'm embarrassed thinking that someone thinks I want to watch that. I don't know. I was showing two things, though. I was showing Snow White and the new trailer, so it could have been either thing. I don't care. I'm good. I don't need to put on any more of that crap. But, yeah, I'm glad I got to vent a little bit about how shit this is. It's like these people who hoard all the money and all the resources and all the talent and all the everything have no imagination. They don't even know what they did. They don't even know what Disney is all about. They don't even understand what kind of thing they were going for when they made Snow White. They don't even know how to tell the story of Snow White now. They just know how to tell a bad retelling of Disney's Snow White. I didn't get a drawing done in like the hour I said I was like an hour ago when I said half an hour. God. So mad. I'm so mad that there's no movie jobs for me to work on. Like there's no good movies, right? I mean there might be, but you can't rely on the people who made good movies to make good movies. It's like, you know, it's a tough pill to swallow since, you know, Disney invented the animated movie and he's fucking dead. So like you're never going to have anything come from that place again, right? Like Disney was a rich guy, yeah, but he still took a huge risk making this movie. All of his rich guy friends called him crazy. So like that's worth something. And you know, risk is the key word here because the reason they keep making these shit fuckeries is because there's zero risk involved. But what if there was risk? What if people hated it? Then they'd go into panic mode and delay the movie, and that's what they did. And it's like they don't want to do that. They don't want to make something that's risky. I don't even know what they're thinking right now. That like they like reworked the movie again, and it's still being poorly received. They probably knew at this point. It's like they also made like that Oh Yeah Gringos show that was really poorly received and delayed that. That looks just like it. I don't even have my reference open because I don't want to get copyright fucked. It's fine. They didn't have a reference either. They just drew Dupus without looking him up because they didn't even know his name. Primos, yeah. Oh yeah, gringo. Yeah, but anyway. Ugh. It's like, I want there to be real consequences for this. And I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna assassinate somebody. But like, they really think they can just do this. They can treat artists however they want. They can make them work on garbage, and they can throw all your art into a machine and replace you with the automatic art making machine. And then like when they run out of data for their art bot, they just like go to your Twitter and download everything. It's just like they could just like continuously rip you off. Like, what about if Dupus had a big fucking target on his head? That'd be funny. What if Dupus was in Lethal Enforcers? That'd be funny. Just like the terrible looking Alfred E. Newman ass fucking... It's like if gunning down CEOs is what people need for something to change, that's pretty sad. That's pretty disheartening. That like the people who make money are just that blind to the suffering they cause, and then if it comes back to them, they die before they even understand it. There's no attempt to understand that. It's like I feel the same way about this as I feel about shooting at Trump. It's like it's absolutely like freaky. It's fucked up. It's totally fucked up. But it is karmic. It's like he deserved that. It's like the people who run Disney deserve worse than a bullet in the back. They deserve to be forced to watch all of their movies. That's the sickest thing you could do. Is not gun them down in the streets, but to make them actually watch their movies. That is sick. To tie them up and force them to watch their movies. That I'm gonna get banned for saying, because that is just like absolutely disgusting. During the mid 70s and late 80s, they did a bunch of lukewarm films. Yeah. And then they invented the cap system. And then they bought Pixar. And then they had a whole nother renaissance, because they had, like, not only was it a way to save money on ink and paint, it was also a way, kind of like with it's kind of like the same breakthrough they had with the Dalmatians and Jungle Book, where it's like, now you've given the animators more to work with. Now the animators can do more work, because before it was like, well, that sounds like a lot of work, and now it's like, well, it's a computer can make this faster. Drawing the dog guy. Yeah, I don't actually think people ought to be gunned down, but I wonder if that man made decisions that were met with him getting gunned down. It's like sounds like this was the worst insurance company ever. That, like, the guy who killed him must have gotten his claim denied or something. It's like, are the animators going to poison someone with an apple? I mean, let's hope it doesn't come to that. But if it does, we'll all know exactly why. Maybe you don't get banned for talking about CEOs getting murdered, because they're all bots anyway. They're not even human. Bot doesn't even die. Like, I wondered, like, what happens to that shitty company after the CEO gets killed? You just replace him with some other shitty guy? It's not clear to me if it was worth anything to kill him. My brother is under that provider, and he told me that happened to the CEO. I was like, that's some Jigsaw level shit. You know, it says something when the Alice in Wonderland movie that started this trend wasn't a remake, but a sequel thought by Tim Burton. Was that the first one? I thought the Jungle Book was the first one. Or like, not Beauty and the Beast. So was it really Tim Burton? I mean, I guess that makes kind of sense that like they have these grim, gray, grueling groovies and they all kind of resemble like a miserable Tim Burton world, which is all wrong. It's like Disney movies are supposed to make you feel happy. But they do, because they remind you of a good movie. It's like Mr. Krabs getting plastic coins. It's like, yeah, but it's based on a real treasure. Like, that's comforting. That makes me feel better. Ugh. And like, some of these are so forgettable. I didn't even remember this one. They made a Pinocchio shit. They shitted it out. Like, I don't even remember this. It happened like a year ago. They just don't matter. They just shit them out. I love how this image is like almost all fake images. Like, look at that Hercules. That's like front and center. Why is that? Does anyone think this is really from Hercules? His face isn't even facing the right way. This? That's not real. She didn't have a baby with the fox. They would never do that. That's not what Stitch looks like in the remake. Is this AI? Might be CG, but I can't even tell anymore. You gotta look at the like tiny details to even tell. I think it's CG. Just some fan art. This one is AI. It's like these are the results you get when you look it up. Like, that looks nothing like Stitch. That looks like, what's his name? Like Max something. The Max Rebo Band. Like, that's just a picture of this dude. Look, I could put his face over that and it just looks like that. Destroy all of these bad images. They're just shitting them out until they run out of their own movies. Yeah, what happens then? Do they start remaking them again? They just start it all over again with the Jungle Book? Disney live action remakes are kind of like shock art. It's like doing what it's supposed to do by making me so mad. It's like, I'm so mad I'm gonna watch the original. Oh, okay, so the Jungle Book was in the 90s. They made a live action Jungle Book in 1994. Then there was the Dalmatians one. I remember that. Some other Jungle Book, whatever. Another Dalmatians. And then, okay, yeah, you're right. I was way off. I thought the Jungle Book 2016 was the first one they did. It's because, like, I think after that, after one of those, they started to accelerate. Like, they just started to release the shit out of them. I remember there was Lady and the Tramp, Aladdin. Okay, so according to Wikipedia, 2010 was Alice in Wonderland, and then The Sorcerer's Apprentice was also 2010, and then Maleficent was 2014, and then after that, it was like one to multiple every year. They released 5 in 2019. They released 5 movies. 5 shitters. Yeah, like the beginning of the year, they had like Dumbo, then Aladdin, then The Lion King. Like, these are months apart. These are 2 months apart. Does it take 2 months to make these shits? Maleficent again. Lady and the Tramp. That one I remember. I didn't watch any of them, but wait, which ones did I watch? I did watch some of them. I watched The Jungle Book. And it made me so mad. It did the exact same kind of thing that this Snow White thing is doing. It's like instantly they have the same plot, but the character is completely different. Instantly doing everything opposite of what that character is all about. They, instead of Mowgli being resistant to go to the man village, he volunteers. It's like the same thing where, like, oh, don't show them, like, we can't show the main character acting like an idiot or like a kid. It's like he's like a 5-year-old and we can't show him like that. And it's like at the end of the Jungle Book, spoilers, he uses fire to beat the tiger. And, like, you know, he like tricks the tiger into being scared of the fire and running away. But in the remake, he like burns down the whole jungle. Christopher Robin. Why would anyone want to watch that? Oh, right. It's the movie where he's like an adult. My God, they're for years and years now, they've just been like digging away at these things that were good, and like it's like, you know, there was a gem here 60 years ago. Maybe if we keep digging, we'll find some dirt. Oh, and the movies keep on coming. There's one coming out this month, and then same exact release schedule as 2019, March, May, July. All of that is some crap coming out. Oh, July 2026. Moana. You just made that. They're making Moana. Lilo and Stitch, that's coming next year. Snow White, that's coming next year. Mufasa, that's coming this month. And then Moana, and then Hercules, Robin Hood, the Aristocats, Bambi. They're just gonna like find some like little snippet of an idea and turn that into an entire movie, like the Haunted Mansion or something. It's like, why are they so lazy? Why are they so uninspired? Can't you just not have money anymore if you're gonna be like that? They're failing up, like every fucking fraud with money. Like that guy who got gunned down, he was a fraudster. This is all fucking fraud. This is money laundering. They're just like doing this so they can steal money from the government. It's like when you've done something so legal and evil, like you do deserve some sort of karmic retribution. It's like you're not gonna go to jail for it, but you can go to hell. You can just stop being CEO if you have no purpose. Game companies do this too, the wasting government money thing. Yeah, it's all a big scheme. It's all a big stupid fucking scheme. I'd be surprised if they ever did a remake of Wish. Well, Wish was a bad movie, so I support remaking it. Try again. It wasn't Disney, but it reminded me of the Charlie Brown special they made, probably entirely because of the memes about Franklin at the Thanksgiving table. Wait. I think it came out. Never saw anyone talk about it. Are you serious? They turned a meme into a whole thing? Did they make it about racism? Did they turn Franklin into a girl boss? It's like, why even make that money? There's no vision for it. The vision is to use it to make more money. It's like even Walt Disney was like, yeah, we got to make all of these fairy tales into movies. But they're just like, we need to make all of this money into money. They might as well just show us a video of CEOs enjoying their money. That'd be better. At least someone's happy. Did Charlie Brown reprimand Lucy for being overtly abusive, the constant gaslighting? Yeah, I bet they had a whole scene dedicated to all the like criticisms one might have watching Peanuts. Like, you're not even a licensed therapist. Brr. It's like they never had to make that joke in Peanuts because it was obvious. People were worried it was going to be about racism. I didn't hear anything after, so I guess it wasn't. Yeah, that's how you know it wasn't, because nobody was talking about it. I think Family Guy did that bit. She's not even a licensed therapist. What the crap? Watched Literally Hitler. Pretty funny. Thank you. Yeah, like it feels like these Disney movies are just a waste of money. They're just a waste of everyone's time. It's like, can we start punishing that and not rewarding it? Because they won't stop if you just keep on rewarding it. That the people talk about them, they make money, the cycle repeats. How about those people are afraid to even show their faces? It's like these people these people ought to be designated as hate criminals. Imagine watching a movie and waiting for the racist parts. Oh yeah, also they couldn't resist in the Snow White movie. It's like there's a black character, there's a black man. It's like, you know, they always have like one black character in Europe. Like they could just make a movie with all white people, but then someone would call that racist. I mean, you know, maybe it is racist to not be an equal opportunity employer, but not every story is a job for you. Not every story is something that, you know, reflects the demographics of Hollywood. I'm not saying we should intentionally tell stories that keep those people out. I'm just saying this was the story they chose. And, you know, this movie is so terrible already that a decision like that will not ruin it, but it reflects like what their priorities are. They care more about telling the right story than telling a story. Like Snow White, yeah, like it feels like everyone who works on that must hate Snow White. And I don't blame you. I mean, it's fucking Snow White. Snape in the new Harry Potter remake that's supposedly more accurate to the books than the movies is a random black guy that looks nothing like Snape. Just a random black guy, just not even in costume. I mean, we've all been through the discourse of Black Hermione. It's like there's like fan art of Black Hermione. It's like, how come everyone's drawing Black Hermione? Because Hermione was never confirmed to be white. Okay, but like if you did the opposite, then, you know, people would be outraged by that. People were laughing about like Black Hermione. I mean, Black Snape is like whatever. I'm sure you don't need white skin to portray Snape. But like the character's white, right? As you know, like I don't actually like race swaps like that. I guess I don't think that they're impossible. I just think that it's mostly hack work. You know, like they did an all black Cinderella. I didn't see that, but it wasn't like really badly received or anything. Never confirmed to be white, but she's described as light-skinned. Just some internet meme shit then. It's like when J.K. Rowling said that Dumbledore's confirmed gay, then everybody acted for 15 minutes like she was some sort of LGBT ally, until later she went off on trans people and hasn't stopped for like 10 years. It's like, oh, being an ally didn't get me the likes and dopamine I wanted, so I'm gonna do the opposite. And that's basically how Disney works. They're gay until it doesn't pay. Also, Snow White is not as white as the queen in this. I thought the whole idea was that she was white. Like, they want to do Snow White, but they would never do anything that implies that having white skin is a good thing, right? Like, that's the whole point of the character, and they don't want to make that implication. It's like her fair skin is the whole reason she's persecuted. That they're not gonna even like mention that, are they? because she's like, the queen is whiter than her. But the whole idea was that the queen wants to be as white as her. But they would never say, like, having white skin is beautiful. They would never say that. Not now. Not anymore. I mean, I don't know. That movie is based off of a German tale. And maybe, like, colorism is baked into German folklore like that. Like, if your skin is white, then you are an ideal. You know, that you fast forward a few years. Snow White is what, from the 1800s? Fast forward a few years and it's like, the Germans are the best because they're the white guys. Like, you know, like, that movie, the Disney movie, was made in 1936. So it was a little bit before we're all hyper aware of Germany's racism. So, like, I don't know. I suppose it is a fairy tale. So outside of that, you could imply that, yeah, maybe it is a good thing to have white skin. It doesn't mean that white is more beautiful than non-white. It just means that some people might be jealous of that. But they'll try telling the story while shying away from that. They're not going to show whiteness as a good thing. This is why coloring my animations make me shit myself. Some of my characters are based off of non-white friends of mine, but I color them in. If I color them, it adds some weird context to what it was, to it that was not intended. Yeah, like, you know, if you have a white hero and a black villain, people are gonna be like, what did they mean by this? So no one fucking does it. Like, have you ever seen that? It's always black versus white in some way. It's like Luke versus Vader is black versus white, where white is good and black is evil. But like, they would only do that with the hat they wear. In like a cowboy movie, they'd have like the good guy wears a white hat and the bad guy wears a black hat. They would never show the good guy is white and the bad guy is black, because that would imply something that they don't want to be saying. But regardless, using black and white like that is a pretty easy shorthand for filmmaking. It's like, how did the good guy and black guy, how did the good guy and bad guy know to color coordinate? We don't know, but it's just, you know, lucky, I guess. That's another thing. I feel like we apply too much reality to these movies. Like, these live action remakes are so guilty of just like going into these concepts and trying to figure out, how could they have done this in real life, as if it were real life? The good guy and the other guy. Yeah, it's like, well, none of it's a real story. None of it actually happened. Although reality does do that shit sometimes. I feel like the Nazis look like bad guys, right? Well, I don't know, because like, while their red armbands and swastikas are pretty intimidating, you could probably say the same thing about Soviet Russia, and they were our allies, the good guys, right? none of it means anything, I feel. Well, it's all just a perspective. A story has no real truth to it. It's just a story. It's someone's perspective. It's all opinion and maybe like a few facts to keep those opinions feel more real or something. Like you should never like learn anything seriously from fiction unless it's really the only source you've got. This is, it happens. Unfortunately, Joe, Black Mirror isn't real life, yet because people believe it reflects reality, they end up making it real. There is some truth to that, yeah. That, like, people would be like, oh, these are such bad times. And it's like, yeah, but you also kind of let it seem that way. It's like, there's no bad times. It's like every time is the same second looped over and over. Like, people just want to feel like everything sucks now so that they don't have to try. And like, if everything does suck now, doesn't that mean you should try even more than usual? It's not actually motivating to people. They are comfortable thinking that they don't have to do anything and that, complaining is doing something. Like, how about you do some in-betweens, motherfucker? It's really not that hard. You just have to not be a bitch. It's like, it feels like this Snow White thing is just like overflowing with excuses. Oh, we had to make it cheap because we hate our audience. It's like, what excuse is there for that? Oh, we needed to shit this one out so that we could shit more out next year. I love complaining, though. I mean, complaining is definitely what I'm doing right now, but I wouldn't make a habit of it because there's like a line of scrimmage or something that you want to cross, where it's like you vent about it and then you feel better. But if you continue venting after that, then you're just going to make yourself feel worse because you're just continuously refreshing these bad thoughts. I would like to end every conversation about something bad with a vision for the future. Like, I'm not going to be like, here's how we can fix Snow White, or here's what a good Snow White would look like. Because I don't actually believe we need to remake Snow White. But it does make me feel like we must learn from this, look at all the things we hate, and try to avoid those. Like, I don't want people to be like frustrated that my movie looks fake. That's a really good thing to learn from if you don't like something. I don't just want Disney to keep trying. I want them to give up. I want them to give up before someone shoots them, because I'd rather they handed the Space Jam basketball to someone else. It's like, movies aren't even dead. We're just acting like it because we don't know how to make a movie that makes money unless it's already like some sort of data tells us that it's just sure to make money. Space Jam talent sucking basketball. Yeah, the basketball is a great metaphor. Because it's like, where's the talent go? If Disney doesn't have it anymore, that means that it must have been transferred somewhere else. The problem with forced diversity in projects like this is that it's so obvious and hands everyone who is exposed to it, including diversity advocates, a big L because it sucks so hard. Yeah. But I mean, they didn't feel that way about Mulan. They weren't like, Mulan doesn't have enough white people in it. Yeah, I mean, I do think diversity is a good thing. Because, like, if you're just telling stories from the same perspectives, it's gonna get boring. You know, like, it's not like every white guy has the same perspective. I think that's taking it too far to treat us all like we're the same. It's mostly just like, if you have white guys all making the same work, looking the same, having the same haircut, like an American Psycho. Also, they're all psychos who murder people. That's when I feel like, yeah, we need some diversity. But like, you know, you don't have to feel like, you know, I'm not equal to John Lasseter just because my skin is the same color. Same quality? No. I almost said quality. My skin's probably worse, actually. I wish more indie animation studios got a chance to make their mark in the entertainment industry, not constantly be overshadowed by Disney. Why would you even get a job at some asshole studio? I didn't listen to Disney's bullshit. They feel it's all crap if you don't have the 9 old men. I didn't care if the drawings were good or bad. It's just another Ralph Bakshi quote. It's like, yeah, we wonder, like, how come indie animation studios don't do shit like that? And Ralph Bakshi was wondering that too. So this has been going on since before time. Like, this is going on since the land before time. But they do have a chance. They just don't have the money. They don't have the talent and they don't have the money. But clearly talent and money is not enough. You can't tell a good story. And it's not diverse at all because it's the same fucking assholes who want the same $10 million. It's like, for what? Like, you need money for what? So you can pay your fucking bills? So you can live in your mansion and never make anything good? This is what we do all this diversity for. So we can continuously refresh the wealth of some fucker nut. Forced diversity is what people say when beloved property from the 70s and 80s gets a soft reboot. Everyone knows it's garbage, but who cares? We need more shit. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, they'll take it out on those marginalized groups. And then Disney will be like, see, they're racist. Job well done. Disney has become more severe than Universal, which is crazy. Yeah, I feel like Snow White has the coldness of the evil queen. She's a girl boss who doesn't afraid of anything and is riding a horse into battle to, you know, to defeat the apple. Who cares? It's all just completely fake. It's all constructed. And you know, people were mad at Disney for censoring a LGBT cartoon. And it's like, why do you even need them to say your beliefs that they don't believe in? That's just a weird like parasitic. Is there such thing as like a double parasitic relationship where neither benefits? Because it feels like if you're a woke person working at Disney, you're going to feel like you have the freedom to make Mickey Mouse wear pink pants, but ultimately they can just change it back to red for Russia, add in like the Russian theme song and completely delete any sort of progress you think you've made. What's the cruelest thing anyone has ever said to you? I don't know. Snow White is cursed by its very name. Yeah, Disney is trying to appeal to the most people, and they've appealed to no one because they don't think about the humans in the audience. They think about the robots in the audience. They have little desire to actually understand their international audience from China. But they'll make plenty of garbage which has no flavor for those people because they hate them so much. Really, like, I feel like they hate children, they hate women, they hate black people, they hate all of them because they're just thinking, like, how can we exploit more groups of people? How can we exploit the biggest groups of people? You know, sorry kids, we're not even making things for you anymore. We're making things for China. China, we don't even care about you guys anymore. We're making things for bots because there's more of them. I don't seriously think they hate black people. Well, I think that they're really just serving the same existing structures. So they're not doing anything revolutionary. They're not doing anything socially, like, what's the word? Like, there's nothing they actually want to change about society. They just want to create the illusion of that so that you can continuously give them money. God, mention of woke reminds me of nobody gets the current usage was a sarcastic one, and that was a meme years back. OG woke used to mean the same thing as based or red-pilled. Yeah, no, I mean, woke just means, like, you're no longer denying the existence of police brutality and racism. That's all woke meant to me. Now woke is just a catch-all for anybody you don't like. It's like, it was very woke, I didn't like it because it was woke. Like, this fence keeping me out is woke. It's, shut up. It's not, nothing is woke because you don't understand it. It's like, woke is something people who believe police brutality is a big problem is woke. It's like, you know, I'm awake. I'm awake and I'm saying it in kind of like a black way. So like you're gonna hear it come from like what do you call them? Like Ferguson protester type people. It's like, you know, I used to believe racism was over because we elected Obama, and now I don't think that anymore. Woke implies that we were all under some spell, that we all believed things were okay. And yeah, it's endless. It's endless. You can endlessly be woke about things. Like, in the case of Snow White, to be woke is to just, like, pick everything apart, right? Like, to find the racism, to find the hatred, to find the prejudice, to find the problem, to find the inaccuracies, to find the scientific inaccuracies in a cartoon. It's like, this is what a smiling squirrel would really look like. I completely fell for the Obama who was president for so whatever shit growing up. The last guy I've seen used woke in the OG cool definition was Atlantic City Batman when talking about demons. Wait, is Atlantic City Batman real? Yeah, I mean, I believe in police brutality. I believe that police will unfairly target people based on their skin. But I only believe that because data has been presented to me about it. I don't experience it firsthand. So I'm probably not even woke. But people will think that they're woke when they're still under some sort of spell. Yes, he's real. I brought him up because he's real. It's like, what is actually woke? What is something good that you can achieve through wokeness? Well, you know, Undertale, the song that's playing right now, this game was relentlessly woke about video games, where it's like, if you kill someone, they die, and you have to live with the guilt of killing them. And if you kill everyone, then you can feel yourself turning, like, twisted and becoming a monster, and becoming more monstrous than the monsters you kill. That's kind of a woke thing, right? It's like, I bet you never thought about that when playing a video game. You only just killed these monsters in cold blood, and now you have to reflect on a lifetime of killing video game NPCs and feeling sorry for them. It's like, you know, it's still just a game, but I feel like there's a bit of like, you know, it's like a persistent non-violence that's like, it makes you consider non-violence even in a video game. Metal Gear Solid 3 was my introduction to feeling guilt in regards to killing NPCs. Yes, and video games have just gotten more and more of that since, because, like, you know, in Dark Souls, when you die, you become more haggard looking. You're like freakier because every single death matters. You gotta stay woke about Toby Fox. What he did, I mean, you can summon demons if you kill all your friends. What he said is you can summon demons if you kill all your friends. I mean, you know, I do think there's some demons within that person. He seems like a friendly enough person to make a cute game like Undertale, but it's also got like a really sinister side that I feel like is maybe a facet of him. Which is fine, because it's all just a game, right? If that's the metric for woke, then Kirby is an anti-woke war machine. Well, yeah, I mean, you have to swing in the opposite direction, but that's just it's all just in a video game. Like, I feel like how you treat video game NPCs should not reflect how you treat people, although there are people who don't know the difference. It's like, everyone's an NPC because they're woke online. Finally, an excuse for never achieving anything in my useless life. This is what people who complain about woke sound like to me. It's like, oh, an excuse! Finally! An excuse to have never accomplished anything. An excuse to be a jackass. Sorry, somebody said jackass. I said it. When I was a kid, I copied shit I saw in The Matrix and Jackass, and that's why I don't have faith in other people, because I don't have faith in myself. Yeah, all I do all day is take red pills, and all I do all day is shit red pills. I would certainly not murder and dismember someone in real life because they asked me if I get to the Cloud District very often in a condescending way. Yeah, it's like you can be as mean as you want to a game NPC, and most games that are not Undertale will never make you feel guilt about it, but it's also like kind of funny because it is a game. The game taunts you endlessly. Spoilers if you've never played Undertale, but like, if you decide to go the genocide route and kill everybody, the game just like says, like, in the final battle, it's like, you just had to know what happened. You just had to figure it out. You just had to kill everyone and see what happened. That's the only reason you did it. And it's like, yeah. It's like, this shit ain't nothing to me. This means nothing. It's like the American Psycho. It's like, this confession has meant nothing. You can be as mean as you want. I believe in police violence. Jokerad 2024. Well, you know, maybe a little. Nah, I mean, If you think police are very fair in their violence, then you might be unwoke. But it's also like the fakest culture war you've ever seen. Like, Disney doesn't care about police violence. They want police violence. They vote for that. They paid for that. They made sure that the police beat you to shit. Anyway, I have to get out of here. Stream is almost over. I haven't done much drawing, but I've talked my ass off. I've never gotten to like a point where I can just like comfortably step away from conversation. I'm still on very like, I'm still on these heavy topics. Shitting red pills is based in brown pills. Yeah, you can turn red pills into brown pills. They come out brown. They're still pill shaped. Toby Fox initially got popular for his music in Earthbound Hack. Yeah. But like, you know, I don't think Undertale is actually woke in the Disney way, because Undertale knows it's just a game, and that it actually gives you the freedom to act morally or immorally. I'm not talking about that when it comes to these Disney movies. They are not giving you a choice. Even the classic movies gave you the chance to relate to the villain. It's, you know, it's fiction. It's safe. You don't need to say that you like the villain. But like now it's like you gotta go along with the girl boss cause she's the hero, not because you decided you like her. And it's like there's very little room for interpretation of any of the events. They over explain everything. They tell you how you should feel about the characters and the plots. And yeah, like Undertale I think is a little bit woke because it plays with the ideas that maybe video game characters actually feel it when you hit them or kill them. And it's not true, but it's well written, so you believe it. That's all it means to say in its wokeness. And it's something I really like. It's something I do with my characters where, like, if you really want to find out what a character is made of, you push them all the way to the limit. You push them all the way to the end. And, you know, we didn't really know what Sans was all about, but now we do. Because we pushed him. You're just yapping at this point. I know. I have to pee really bad. But yeah, like the Disney movies they make are not asking you to think. They're telling you what to believe. They're telling you what the meaning is. They shouldn't ever do that. You shouldn't even have like I feel like, yeah, I suppose I believe in like good guys and bad guys, but you should give a little bit of room for interpretation. You have to be able to come to the realization on your own who's good and who's bad in this movie. You know how they avoid that with the stupid twist villain? They always do that. Oh, he was evil all along. You had no idea. It's like, that way they don't need to portray anyone as bad. They don't need to have any characters, like, show any complexity. It's just like, the good guy is the guy you follow through the whole movie, and the bad guy is who the fuck ever. That's America. That's America's plan, is just like, the good guy is me and the bad guy is someone else. I don't care who. No, why is like, you didn't invite me to your party, now your child will die in 14 years, screw you. Yeah, that's like Debbie from Addams Family Values. She didn't get the right Barbie, so she killed her parents. But she still sees herself as the hero, even though she murders. She sees herself as the victim. I was told to believe that Sans is a fair justiciar of time and space. Yeah, it feels like he's the guy who can manipulate time to, like, you know, he can do what you do to keep up with you. It's like, if you die and come back and just, like, you know, you die, he kills you and come back, he remembers that. He's like, you know, the game puts you back at the save point and he's like, back for more, I see. It's like he knows how many times he's fought you. He can't manipulate time, but he's aware of it. Yeah. He's just like aware, even though you're really in control, you still need to beat him. Scooby-Doo today would be considered persecution fantasy. Because why? Because the guy in the costume is the real victim. He's also the only character that knows to sidestep a child lunging at him with a knife. Yeah, he's the only one who just, like, moves out of the way. I think people just try to figure themselves out through the lens of popular culture. I agree with Zizek that people are simply fucked up in general. Yeah. But yeah, like, if you don't actually know how to, like, live a moral life, you just make up a character who has correct morals no matter how bad the story is. Not that progress can't be made. No, I feel like, you know, like, we can definitely use stories to like, you know, try and live a better life, but you're a fool if you think that stories are going to fix things. You know, like, you're not gonna like show this to a Trump supporter and make him nice now. You know, like, if he voted to deport people, that's him. That's who he is. He doesn't think that's evil. You're not gonna make him think that's evil with Snow White or Mulan or anything. But that's always what they think. Or they think like, oh, I'll make Mickey Mouse wear pink pants, and just hold right there, and then it's like, they're pink forever. See, he wore them for 3 seconds, and now they're pink forever. But then he takes the pink pants off and puts on red pants. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? How could they do this? How dare they? It's like, it's fucking Mickey Mouse. What did you think? He doesn't like pink pants. He don't like pink anything. He doesn't like pink you. He don't like you gay commies. He's against you, and he's merely sucked you up to exploit you for your surplus labor, or whatever the thing is. I'm more interested in watching characters who believe they have strong good morals, do depraved terrible things, and bend over backwards to justify it, because that says more. Yeah, like, I mean, you know, I thought of Bender when you said that. It's just like, the guy who will do literally anything for like a wad of cash or a big cigar, and yet you don't feel like you want to stop him or anything. Bender lives large. He lives life to the fullest. He's not even alive, and he's lived more than Fry. And he's lived way more than Leela. Leela does not get out much. And Bender doesn't even have earthly desires. He's just programmed to have them. I feel like he doesn't even have to smoke at all. Guy will do anything for a wad of cash. That reminded me of Spamton, where people claimed Spamton wouldn't do NFTs. I know, people don't understand the whole point of the character is to indulge. The whole point is to indulge in being that kind of person. It doesn't mean you have the same morals as him. It means that you would in this fictional world. But yeah, like in Undertale, it's like there's no point to do any of that, but to see what these people are really made of. And it's, you know, it's good for the story. It's not good for real life. The Barbie movie made me angry. I understood the intention of it, but the idea that people need a road to nowhere story through the lens of Barbie and Ken to achieve self-awareness made me furious. Okay, is that what that movie's about? To really self-unaware people who like go on a road trip and realize that they're just stupid like Barbie doll people. Whole point with Spamton is that he's a salesman who's in such a shit situation. He's living in a dumpster scamming passerbys. Yeah, I mean, like, he doesn't have any morals. He doesn't have a he doesn't have like he doesn't have the same morals as you. People don't even understand why he's a good character. They think he's a good character because he's popular. There's like so much of that shit that people just like latch on to whatever's popular and act like, oh, this character represents me, but not in any of the bad ways. It's like, you know, you have to, you know, if you're Toby, you have to love pretending to be that guy in order to write that character. It doesn't mean he's gonna scam people for real. Yeah, like, I heard the Barbie movie was like woke bullshit. It's like, you know, they have to make Barbie woke because if it wasn't woke, then it would be like, what's the opposite of woke again? What's the word? Regressive. If it's not progressive, then it must be regressive, right? I don't fucking think so. I don't believe that. It's like, you're just like Marinetti is saying, hey, stop eating pasta. Everybody has to stop eating pasta because I said so. It's too boring. It's making you weak. You have to eat this stupid shit I made up. I don't think it was woke, actually. Okay, well, I didn't watch it. But like, I assumed that the Barbie movie needed to address the fact that Barbie is a kind of regressive caricature. They made Ken discover patriarchy, and then he made Barbie and Ken it made Barbie and Ken equal because it's bad, but it's bad because he called it patriarchy, so Ken's need to be slaves again because reasons. Sorry, I got a little lost with what you were saying, but I think I know the gist of what you mean. It's like Ken, you know, walks into a Ken factory and sees all the other cookie cutter men. It's just like, these guys have no ambition. These guys have no personality. There's nothing that makes any of them unique, and we're all just taking advantage of that to make Barbie feel stupider than she is or whatever. You know, I'm just imagining what it might have gone like. Like, oh, the patriarchy bad because you know, like, men and women are really equal. They're you know, they're all Barbie dolls. Barbie, Ken, doesn't matter. We're all cookie cutter. I'm not even close to watching that fucking movie. It sounds like it's only good if you like Barbies. Or some shit. There's a lot of people were talking about it, but it's okay. Barbie felt like a reaction to online culture. Yeah. Yeah, like, made a drawing of Mickey Mouse like character with his ass up the camera. Too far and far too detailed feet. And I'm pretty proud of that. I love the Barbie movie. Yeah. Woke nonsense. I didn't watch it because it's woke. Nah, I don't give a shit. I just think like I just think that like big companies have no morals and they're not seriously telling us what our morals should be. Like they don't have any. They don't have a vision. They don't have ethics. And I don't think there's anything really that bad about traditional stuff, like, you know, a man and woman kissing or whatever. I mean, yeah, maybe it's not new, but like it's still classic. Barbie movie and a bunch of other movies the last few years were clearly just responses to the Lego movie. Oh yeah. Nobody knows what our morals should be. Yeah, that's true. Nobody wants to even say anything. It's like they're people like feels like every single day, or you know, every 5 seconds people get updated with the newest patch of all the things that are bad, but not anything that's good. Usually if I do something like that are bad, people don't even say anything. People don't even fucking notice. People don't even care. It's like if you showed Snow White shrieking in horror at a knife being held to her throat, I think that shouldn't be so, you know, it shouldn't be so like thought of as like regressive that you don't do it. Entertainment industry is giving it an endless series of hero's journey, which I think gives people brain damage. We need more funny Socratic dialogue in media. Yeah. Well, Ferrell's in the Barbie movie. It's blatant. They were trying to replicate the success. Yeah. And that's like every other movie is just like trying to replicate some other movie's success. And now Barbie is gonna have those things. Gonna have its own copies. Yeah, like they're you know, they're following strictly the formula, which I feel like isn't even that wrong. You can make a good movie with the existing formula. I feel like they're maybe not formulaic enough because they take out important things. They still use the formula. They just take out the load-bearing moments. Like, it's like, are they not even gonna have Snow White get kissed by the prince because she can't consent to it? Like, that's the kind of thing that they're racking their brains over. It's like Snow White getting kissed while she's unconscious. Like, you know, people are gonna be mad at us if we do that. I wonder what they'll do. But like, wondering what kind of stinky shit they'll make is not the kind of anticipation you should build for your movie. I consent, I don't type shit. Yeah, like Snow White's last words before eating an apple are all about how she hopes a prince will kiss her awake. Like, I totally consent to it. In her dead hand is a piece of paper that says I consent and has a picture of the prince on it. Just so you know who she consents to. I mean, you know, maybe it would be a little boring if they just told the exact same story. So I don't know, make a different movie. Anyway, I gotta pee.